and my name's Mindy Hort. I'm a 2013 elite coach. At the end of 2012, when I sat down to write my goals out for the following year, so I could kind of plan out and, look at what I wanted to do. One of the things I wrote down was that I wanted to be a 2013 elite coach, and I wanted to be able to fire my boss and be home with my family by my 2-year anniversary, which is February 15th, 2014, which we're already past that. It seemed kind of unattainable, but I kept saying it over and over and over again. I kept writing it down. I kept saying that this is what I was gunning for. And there were times where I just thought I was, so far off from it. But I kept working hard. I sacrificed. I put in the time. I focused on my team. I focused on the people I was helping. And somehow, through my hard work and dedication and relentless will, I did. I achieved that. In 21 months, was able to fire my boss. I was home with my kids. And, right after Christmas, I found out that I did indeed make it as a 2013 elite coach. I let out a huge sigh of relief, kind of just crashed and, rested for the first time in a long time after working so hard. And then it was like, okay, I need to reset my goals for 2014. Same thing happened at the beginning of this year. I thought, oh my God, it's never going to happen. And, I'm never going to be able to beat it. And, I went through a little bit of depression and a funk with that. But, also at the same time, my original why was to be home with my family and to be able to provide for my family and no longer go to work for somebody else, achieving their dream and having to ask permission to spend time with my family, and when I could take off to go to the Success Club trips and the summit and leadership, and when my children were sick, I didn't want to do that. But then once I achieved that and, I had this new found freedom, it was kind of like, well, why am I doing this now? Because the day I signed up as a coach and, throughout the last 2 years, it's never been about money. Now that I'm a full-time coach, I do know the dollar amount I need to be able to cover my bills to take care of my family, but that's not my drive. I'm not trying to get rich, because I just truly feel that if you treat people like people, not see them as a dollar sign, not see them as a Success Club point, not have that be your only drive, that, you're going to be blessed and the rest will take care of itself. Greed is not, is the voting factor for a lot of people, but it's very short-lived, and it doesn't mean happiness. Happiness is doing something where you feel fulfilled and rewarded and you're doing good for other people, and it's not a selfish intention. So then I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I really took a step back and reevaluated just everything I've been through, because it's been nice. I can actually sit in my house now in peace and quiet. I'm not running frantically, and so I've had time to meditate. So I really focused on what Beachbody did and what my mission is. And my mission is to be able to help people like myself get out of tireless jobs that they hate, so that they come home and they spend the time with their families, and it's quality. It's not that they're not stressed out, that they get to be home with their kids, that they don't feel this pressure. And I wanted people to have the same void and gap that I had my whole entire life, and these sickening feelings that I experienced, my whole entire life, go away. And I wanted them to do it through Beachbody and because of me. And that is, I grew up feeling alone. I felt like an outcast. I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't fit in. I didn't, have anyone who I could connect with. And that's a lonely feeling. You just, you don't know yourself. So my goal was this year is to make sure that I help people, number one, not feel alone. Be part of something, be part of a family. And that's one thing, is that I don't have family. We have no support from our families, and it frankly sucks. But it took that for me to appreciate what I have now. I have this huge family of people from all across the nation who love us just for us, who are attached to us, who watch us, who admire us, who want to be around us. And that's great. That's family. Family's not who you share the same last name or the DNA, or whose house you lived under the roof for the most amount of time, or whose name's on your birth certificate. Family is the people who love you unconditionally and accept you for exactly who you are and want to be with you because they want to be with you, not because they have to on some holiday. And so my coaches made me feel like that. So I want the same thing for other people. Another thing that was very important to me is when I became a coach, there's a lot of people that I looked up to because of things that they said at events that have helped me get to where I am now, because I've remembered little things that they said. And also in 2013, I became, very good friends with a lot of elite coaches. They never made me feel like I was beneath them. They never made me feel stupid. They shared pieces of advice, and they were just kind, genuine people. people. They took the time when they didn't have to. Some of them are Jason Diebold, Caroline Van Zant, Allie Upham, Melissa McAllister, and, of course, my coach and her sister, and Shay Stanford, and, Hillary Kelly, and all these people were just awesome to me when they didn't have to. I was just somebody who was, green behind the ears, but very eager, and they took the time just to, answer a few questions or just be kind to me. So that's been my goal, is to make sure that I'm kind to everybody else. My husband likes to call me the Jesus of Beachbody because, I share my story of, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, ADHD, abuse, growing up as a childhood, my 3 failed marriages, my, problems with drinking and drugs and, affairs and, all these things. And, everybody's like, oh my God, look at where she is. And, I felt like a failure and I messed up. So they reach out to me and I just take everybody under my wing. So those were my goals, and I've accomplished that. I've helped so many people on my team and outside of my team learn to realize that they should value themselves and that they are wonderful people who deserve every great thing and that they can do it. And I've watched them flourish. I've watched them step out of their comfort zone. I've watched them help other people. I've watched them just, totally liven up and just start living. And so, but one of these things, and this is why I'm making this video, is that I've talked to so many people out there, and it just makes me sad. So I just want to make sure that the people on my team and anybody watching this is very cognizant of this, what I'm talking about, and makes it, a point to make sure that they're doing this correctly. Is that, this is how I operate as a coach. Not everybody operates. Everybody has their own motivating factor. It's their business, and they can do that. And everybody's why is different. But for me, it's very important to make sure that people don't get left behind. I'm 110% loyal to Beachbody. You'll never hear me badmouth them. You'll never hear me, you'll never see me moving to another company because of money. And I am loyal to Beachbody, and I want to make sure that everybody that I can control on my team or anybody I, come in contact with, make sure that they also too, how their actions and their way of operating edifies the team part and Team Beachbody and makes people want to be part of this. In any company, in any race, in any field, there's always the good and the bad. And I know that you can't, predict that or control that. But for me, it's important. And it's very important to my team that we, make sure that we uphold the mission statement of Beachbody, because I believe that they're 100%, there's integrity there, that all their actions, definitely follow through with what, and basically line up with what they say they're going to do. And so I feel that out of loyalty for everything they've done to me, that I need to make sure that that's done. Sadly, from a lot of coaches that have reached out to me and want to move to my team, want to be part of my training group, and the list keeps growing bigger. One thing that I do want to point out there, that once you are a coach and you've been a coach for more than 72 hours, you may not move from team to team. I do tell people that I will help them as much as I can, as long as it does not take away from the, my challengers and my team that I'm working with, that I will help them, but you cannot move teams. But I see a lot of the same thing from the coaches that are reaching out to me. They've been signed under people who are inactive now, or people who didn't train them. So one thing I want to say is that when you're signing coaches, you need to kind of evaluate. If you signed up and you don't want to work the business, then that's fine. If you want to become a discount coach, that's fine. And, sometimes people get going, things come up in their life and they realize this isn't for them. So I understand there's those extenuating circumstances, but I see a lot of coaches who, when they sign up, they're all excited, and then they sign tons of coaches. They don't train them. They don't provide any assistance for them. They don't ask help from their upline to try to do this, because I understand that sometimes some of these coaches come in and it just starts happening so fast that, they're new themselves. I know that when I became a coach, it happened that way, and I'm still learning. And I've had to go back and, say, okay, now that I've learned stuff and I have some more training, a better way of training, let's, start this over again. But I just hate it because I see so many coaches who've just been signed by people who just want to make the money. The thing is, if, I believe that everybody who purchases a challenge pack, everybody who's drinking Shakeology should be given the opportunity to receive the discount. I see people all the time who are shopping on Groupon and cutting coupons and looking for deals and buying off eBay and Amazon. So I do know that people want to save the money. So they should be offered the opportunity of being at least a discount coach. However, if you are somebody who's signing coaches underneath you and just being the discount they're being the discount coach, and then they decide that they want to do something with the business. I just think it's unfair if you just remain a discount coach to not provide any information. So, at least if you're signing coaches, make sure that you get them in touch with somebody who is in your upline, so that if these people do want to pursue the business, if they do have this transformation that makes, them come alive, it makes them feel that they can do anything and they're unstoppable and they want to learn about the business because they have people all the time asking them questions, then at least direct them. Because, this is what I feel, is that so many people are left out there all alone and they don't know where to go. They don't know that the people that, are their upline are there to help them. And, somebody like me is not going to turn them away, but it's very hard to try to manage, so many people who you haven't already built a relationship with. This is another thing, is that when you're signing coaches, build a relationship with them, find out what their goals are, find out what they want, and, offer it to them. This is one thing that I want for all my coaches. If you're signing coaches, then make sure that you're doing it not just for the money, that because you truly want to help them. I have had coaches, that I've learned recently that just sell things to people because I don't know why. They don't take time to get to know these people, to find out what their goals are, find out what, they're wanting. I found out the other day that a coach, sold Ultimate Reset to somebody over a year ago, and they still haven't seen the box. Ultimate Reset costs a lot. If this person is just starting their journey, I would never recommend Ultimate Reset as somebody's first program, because it's so intense. And if you don't already have the mindset ready to commit to it, if you hadn't already made the changes in clean eating, you could get a couple days into it and then quit. Well, then you don't have enough supplements to restart over again. Just like, you could restart a fitness program, or you could restart Shakeology if you drank it for a few days and let it sit for a couple weeks. Ultimate Reset's not that way, so it's a waste of money. So get to know people's needs. I found out from another person that reached out to me the other day, who's a customer, that they bought Shakeology. They bought T25. The coach, boom, moved to a different company. And, that's fine. Everybody has their own right to do what they want. But this person, had it just sitting there. They made this investment. And, the more questions I started asking, the coach never checked in to see if they like Shakeology, never found out how they prepared Shakeology, never put them in a support group or accountability group to, help them stay on track with, T25. I reached out to this person. I gave my suggestions on how to try Shakeology, to how to get restarted, offered to put her in an accountability group. And, guess what? I found out that she drank the Shakeology and mixed it the way I liked, and then likes it, started her workouts again. So this is the power of support and accountability and having a coach. So if you're going to take on the role as a coach, then be a coach. If you're not ready to be a coach, then don't sign coaches, don't sign customers. Because for me, Beachbody is not just about a business. I treat it like a business because I do take it seriously. But, this isn't just about money. Check in with people. Find out if they like it. Find out if they did. I remember the first day I got my P90X, literally as soon as I'm popping the disc in, about ready to work out, my coach texts me, I see that you got your package, and asks me questions. That's part of it. Is it because this is the reason why we advertise being coaches? Is it so nobody has to do this alone? Because they've done it before and did it alone and it didn't work out. So the last thing you want to do is just sell somebody something and then leave them to figure it out on their own. The last thing I want to do is any coach on my team to sell people a product that doesn't fit them. That's why I don't buy off of Groupon. I see people all the time buying stuff off Groupon because it's on sale, but they don't need it, and it just sits and they waste money. And then when people do that and they buy a program that doesn't fit them, it doesn't fit their lifestyle, it doesn't fit their needs, it doesn't fit their fitness level, and they don't like it, and you don't check up on them to make sure that they open the box, you don't put them in a group to make sure that they get started and that they don't feel alone, then it's just going to sit on their shelf. It doesn't give Beachbody a good name. It doesn't really edify the whole team and Team Beachbody. You're not meeting the requirements of what you're advertising yourself is as a coach. So this to me is very important. Don't leave these people aside. If you are not ready to coach and you solely are just this loyal Shakeology customer and want to drink it for ever, and you don't want to pay retail because nobody should have to, then maintain yourself as a discount coach. And if you're going to sign coaches, step up, because, there's so many people out there who are hungry and they want to, and they have nowhere to go. And then they just feel alone, and it discourages them. And it just does not, support what the working coaches and what Carl Deichler wants for this organization. And that just makes me sad because everything I do is made, everything I do, I try to make sure that I embody what Carl wanted. And this is very important to me. And so I just wanted to get this message out there that if you sponsored coaches, check in with them. And if you have discount coaches, then, don't push them to do something they don't want just to fit your goals. Because if not, then they're going to get discouraged and they could quit, or they could, feel, bad or have ill will towards, coaching. And that's the last thing I want. I want everybody to love Beachbody and love the support and love having a coach and have a great experience. So make sure that you're building relationships with people. Make sure you're not pushing people to do things that they're not ready to do, because in the end, it really affects people. Just like when we help people, it affects people. There's a ripple effect of affecting a bunch of people positively. If you do the wrong thing and it's all about yourself, then you could basically push people to do things that they're not wanting to, which in turn leaves people where they feel alone. And so make sure you follow up with your people. Make sure you follow up with your discount coaches. Treat them more like a customer and check up on them. And, one thing I tell all my coaches is, even if you have a discount, coach, put them in my group. That way they can see what goes on. Because sometimes when they see other people doing stuff, they're like, oh, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that you could do this as a coach. And then, maybe they're still not ready to be a coach, but then 6 months later, when they've lost 40 pounds and everybody's asking them questions and they feel more confident where they can talk to people, and they feel, they may have completed a few programs, so feel a little like they know more about the product, then at least they've been watching all these conversations. So they're kind of fresh in their mind. One of the things I do when I sign a coach, even if they say they want to be a discount coach, I send them the same email and the same information as I would send somebody who said, yeah, I'm ready and I have 5 people on board, or I'm going to be your next diamond. I give them the same information so that later on they can't say that I didn't train them. And then I always encourage them to complete the Coach Training Academy. And I hear this all the time from coaches. Well, somebody only wants to be a discount coach, and I don't want to push them. I'm not saying push them. I'm saying give them the same opportunity, because 3 of my rock stars on my team said, I only want to be a discount coach. They were adamant. So I said, okay, well, here you go. Here's the welcome email that I send out. Here's the information you need to know. And here's a way to, learn more through the Coach Training Academy. You can do it if you want, but, if not, then that's fine. I'd like to set up a call where we could at least kind of go over your goals. This isn't just about the business. This is finding out more about their goals, getting them kind of started, like, hey, buy almond milk because, your Shakeology is going to come in a couple of days with your challenge pack. Do your measurements, have somebody take pictures, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, oh, by the way, if you have any business goals, let's discuss that so I can, know how much I need to work with you, how much I need to push you. So those are really important. But so anyways, these Rockstar coaches finish the Coach Training Academy in 1 to 2 days, and they're my diamond. So, at least give the people the benefit of the doubt, at least give them the same opportunity, and what they do with it is, up to them. And check back with them every couple months, because things might have changed and they may want to do something. So anyways, I hope that this is received well, and I hope that maybe you take a step back, evaluate the way you've trained your coaches. And if in the beginning everything was whirlwind and you were super busy and you were clueless, or, it just slipped past you, that's fine. We're not perfect, but go back and say, hey, I think that I overlooked this. I'd like to check back with you to see, if there's any questions you have, and, there's some information I left out, and leave the door open and let them know that if things still stand the same, they want to be a discount coach and that's it, and they're very private, then fine. Then just say, okay, if anything changes, let me know. And then keep checking on them about their, to make sure they're drinking their Shakeology, to make sure that they're, working on, out and loving their program. I mean, you don't want to take these discount coaches and just ignore them, and then, only contact them whenever you see that their account is going inactive, and then freak out and then realize that, oh my God, they have like 50 bags of Shakeology. And that was because you didn't check up on them. So anyways, if you have any other questions, let me know.